Welcome back to Morning Detention. We're talking about schools. Again, this is the last topic. This is the 10th topic, the last topic on tips that I be giving. It's on schools, tip number 2. So tip number 2 is that I want to say is that your kids, they in high school, you want to make sure that you train them to communicate with their teacher about their grades and other issues before you go and talk to the teacher. This is very important because you are now raising your teens to become more independent and more responsible. But not only that, you training them because this is their education, right? And in high school, I work at a high school, right? Too. I worked at grammar school and high school, and it's kind of hard. Like grammar school is a little bit more easier because you got one teacher who might have just 30 kids. That's it. But in high school, you could see about 100, 200, 300 students in one day. Who knows, right? So it's kind of hard to get around to everybody parent, right? But so teacher might not call you until the last minute when they feel an urgency to call, right? However, say for example, and I talk about this in tip number 3, I think it's 3 or 4. But anyway, but you also got to realize this: in college, the professors not obligated to call you about your child felon or behavior issue, right? They don't care if your child come to school or not. They don't care if they do any assignment. So you training your kids to care about their grade, and you training them to go to their teacher and in college go to their professor and deal with an adult and say, hey, this grade is not fair, or how can I get makeup work, or how can I get a better grade in your class? This is what you're teaching your kids to do, and that's what I did. Like so my teen came home with an issue, and if I say, why do you have a C in this classroom, and they tell me why, or they say what the obvious teenager would say, I'm missing assignments, or I don't know why, then you go make them find out through the teacher, and then you make them come back to report back to you with an answer to see how do you get that grade up. So again, that is tip number 2, is train your kids how to communicate, hopefully problem solve with their teacher before you get involved as a parent.